songs that have been around for 20, 30 years that still resonate tells you about the quality of song. And I think that Place in This World is obviously a world-class song, but I think it's part of the reason why part of the reason why it resonates is because people are still trying to find their place in this world, and the only way you can really find it is if you look heavenly.
Looking for a reason to find my place in this world. My place in this world. Not a lot to me, not a lot. I need a light to help me find my place in this world. My place in this world. I need your light to help me find my place in this world. My place in this world.
Hey, it's Keith Stevens talking with Luke from For King and Country about their upcoming Christmas movie, A Drummer Boy Christmas, live. Luke also shares about Thanksgiving plans and some special insights into their new song, A Place in This World, and what it was like to work with Michael W. Smith.
I love that song.
I love that song.
I love that song.
What's up, Keith? It's Luke here, man. How are you doing?
Luke, I'm doing great. How are you? It's so great to hear your voice.
Oh man, it's I've said this for years, but whenever I get to call you guys and speak with you guys, it feels like chatting with old friends. So
It is.
I'm doing well, and I can't complain. I mean, I guess there's always things you could complain about, but maybe it's called wisdom. As I've aged, I've learned it doesn't help much.
It is wisdom, man. You got wisdom with age. We all do. We all do. Man, you sound great. You sound great. Brother, you guys got energy. You got some energy. And you know what? That's what I'm all about, bro. So you got energy, and we're like, you know what? Put this on the radio, man. And look at you now, all these years later.
Oh, that's good.
And all these years later, and now you've got the incredible Drummer Boy Christmas Live movie. This is incredible. Really, you guys have come so far, and we're so excited for you for this. Tell me about the movie.
Christmas particularly has always been a highlight for us up there. It's cold, it's usually snowing, which that's wonderful.
Right.
But you get to Christmas, and we've made, for us, one of the things that we've realized, though, is when you go up to, Minnesota, maybe you're not going to New York, or maybe you're not going to LA. And so we when you go out west, you usually don't go east. And if you go east, you don't go west. And so every Christmas we've had this wrestle, like, how do we actually get to the people? And whenever we would announce a tour, if it wasn't in their city, they would get really mad. And it was like, guys, we're not doing this intentionally. So last year, we actually, we were like, well, how could we give Christmas and A Drummer Boy Christmas to everyone this year? And so we actually took the film crew from this film that we worked on last year called Unsung Hero and brought them to Houston at the Toyota Center, and we filmed this Christmas cinematic movie called A Drummer Boy Christmas Live to give people, like, one of the things that we hear back a lot also is that our shows, they're like, hey, I love the show, but I was, on row 150 further back, or, and I didn't get kind of the front row experience. So we thought to ourselves, how can we do two things? How can we give a front row experience to everyone that, in a movie theater? And then B, how can we give it to everyone all at once, all over America? And that's been the vision behind this film, A Drummer Boy Christmas.
Nice. It's a good vision. Good vision, man. It's nice to see it come to pass. Now, listen, you guys are going to wrap up your tour in a little bit here. I wanted to ask you, what are your plans for Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, I was at my in-laws last night, and I was like, hey, so we're doing Thanksgiving here together, right? And they're like, yes, it's Thanksgiving at our house. And so I will be going over to my in-laws' place for Thanksgiving. Obviously, we'll do the turkey, we'll do the whole bit, and this year it's going to be, it's funny how when you live lives of a lot of travel and a lot of things, sometimes it's the simple things that you look forward to the most. And for us, just being home, celebrating, Thanksgiving with family is just sounds heavenly. And so we're looking forward to that this year.
Doesn't it sound great? I like to set the mood and set the tone in my house, and I have old jukeboxes, and I change out the music. It's the kind where you see the record play. And I thought, well, at the holiday time, I like to put in like the old nostalgic music from like the 50s and stuff like that, and maybe some big band or I don't know, that kind of thing. It kind of sounds like maybe Perry Como or maybe, I don't know, Glenn Miller or some of these Patsy Cline. And it just sets the mood.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you guys listen to, say, at Thanksgiving? How do you set the tone? Or at any of the holiday weekends? What do you kind of do?
In our household, we're probably a little bit of a Rat Pack family, you know. So it's going to be the Frank Sinatras of the world. We'll expand to Bing Crosby, and we do a lot of that. I mean, we do a ton. Honestly, we'll just put on Bing Crosby music a lot, and just listen. And so those are probably between those kind of two, and expand it a little bit to a few others. That's what we love to listen to. And honestly, my wife has me listening to it all year round. I'm breaking some cardinal rules, I know, but we listen to Christmas music all the time.
Well, I love that. That's fantastic. And what is it about it? It's like sets a tone. Doesn't it take us kind of out of our current environment and helps us time travel to a time we never really lived in, or we didn't live in, but we can kind of imagine. Well, and it's kind of simple. It's sort of stripped down music, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing I would say is this. C.S. Lewis says, he wrote this essay, and it was called "On the Reading of Old Books," and he made this comment that he basically said, The books actually that are really worth reading, that are tried and true, are the books that are still in print and have been around for 50 years. Yeah. And I was like, that's an interesting point. And obviously that would be, you get into like the classics, and you get into these types of things. Well, I often think the music actually similarly, in that music that has been around for over 50 years that is still getting circulated tells you that it's probably some of the great music that's ever created. And I think at Christmas time, that's what you get. You get these songs that some of them are hundreds of years old, like generations upon generations of singing it. And so you're singing some of the greatest music of all time. And I think that there's something welcome and warm and just friendly about it. So I think that's why we put it on.
I agree with you. So there is music that is part of our history in the contemporary Christian music format. And I'll never forget back in the day when I was in high school and went to see an artist perform. And they performed at the high school, actually. And the young lady had a new album out and was touring the album. And the title of the album and the tour was called the Age to Age Tour. And then before she came out, she said, or she came out at the beginning, she says, I want to introduce to you a new artist, a friend of mine, who you may not have heard of, but he's opening for my shows, Michael W. Smith. And that was the Amy Grant, Michael W. Smith pairing during Age to Age, the tour that I saw in 1982. I know it's really, my goodness, over 40 years ago. But talk about timeless music from Michael W. Smith. You guys did a tip of the hat to Michael W. Smith. What was it like covering his song, Place in This World?
Man, so we were doing a soundtrack for this movie, Unsung Hero, and what we were thinking through, we were like, well, we should do a soundtrack as well and do it inspired by, but what songs do we put on it? So the thought was, well, let's put songs on it that are obviously in the movie, and then we thought, but what are some of these other songs? And obviously the first song, being one of the larger songs, and then a song that was in the movie was Michael W. Smith's Place in This World. And so I started listening to it and just kind of going, man, is it just me, or is this like the themes of this song right now are the same themes and the same struggles that we have going on with our society today? And so for me, once again, going back to the whole 50-year type situation, songs that have been around for 20, 30 years that still resonate tells you about the quality of song. And I think that Place in This World is obviously a world-class song, but I think that's part of the reason why part of the reason why it resonates is because people are still trying to find their place in this world. And the only way you can really find it is if you look heavenly, because God has distinct purposes for all of us. But sometimes we can't find those things when we look to the world, but you can find your place in this world if you look out of this world. And that's one of the reasons why I love this song by Michael W. Smith.
Did you sing it with him together? Did he re-record his part too?
You know what? He did. And I've joked with Michael quite a lot. I was like, Michael, you know why we're doing this, right? And he'd be like, well, why? And I was like, it's just giving us an excuse to hang out. Because Michael, I don't know if you spent much time with him. He's a wonderful, wonderful person. And so, he came into the studio. And honestly, I think people know this, but he's not just like a good piano player. Like he's kind of like otherworldly. So he came in and he did some vocals on it. And before he left, we were just like, hey, literally as a last resort, or just like we'll just see what will happen. Like, hey, why don't you get on this piano, this old creaky piano in here, and just, see what comes out. And if you listen to the recording, there's this sparkly piano part that he came up with and wrote that is just absolutely glorious. And so just getting to spend time with him, be around his artistry, sing a little bit with him was a real privilege. And in some cases actually taught me a lot about the ways to live life.
It's gold. Right there is gold. And I love that you shared the story behind that we wouldn't normally know. And you're right. And sometimes we can learn how to live life just by watching somebody play their piano. God bless you. Thank you. And we're gonna stay strong too, and can't wait to see you soon, okay?
I appreciate you, man. Thanks
All
for the
right,
time.
take care. Bye, Luke.
I Love That Song is a Wow God production, a ministry of the University of Northwestern St. Paul. Discover more at wowgod.com.
I love that song.
I love that song.
I love that song.